Hello everyone and welcome to Chess with M&M. Today we will see so beautiful, so amazing and one of the notable games between two world champions, Garry Kasparov against Vladimir KRAMNIK. And for the that doesn't know, Garry Kasparov is the world champion of the 1965 year until KRAMNIK take it from him in 2000. But this game happened in 1994. And this means 6 years before he became world champion. So let's see what happened between these two players. Kramnik with the white pieces and Kasparov with the black pieces. Kramnik started by knight to f3, knight to f6 by Kasparov, and c4 by Kramnik. The English opening. g6 by Kasparov, preparing to playing bishop to g7, knight to c3, controlling the e4 square and preparing to pushing e to e4. Bishop to g7 by Kasparov and e4 by Kramnik. d6 by Kasparov, controlling the e5 and c5 square and not although the white to pushing e5 or c5. And d4 by Kramnik. Nice controlling of the center by the e4, d4, c4 pawn structure, but the black has always e5 or c5 or f5, so there is nothing to worry about. Castling by Kasparov and bishop to e2, preparing to castling by Kramnik. e5 by Kasparov hitting the center and d5 by Kramnik taking a space on the center, and this is the Petrosian variation in the King's Indian defense. Knight b to d7 from Kasparov. The idea is playing knight to c5 and then threatening the pawn on e4. So bishop to e3 by Kramnik. Bishop to e3 controlling the c5 square and not although the black to playing knight to c5. So here bishop to e3. Always if you play bishop to e3 without having f3 and h3, so you although the black to playing bishop to g4 and threat your bishop, knight to g4 sorry, and threat your bishop on e3. So here Kasparov played bishop to g4, knight to g4 sorry, knight to g4 threatening the bishop on e3. Bishop to g5, give me your queen, f6, give me your bishop, bishop back to h4 and h5 by Kasparov. h5 taking a space on the king side. Knight back to d2, supporting the e4 and c4 pawns and threatening the knight on g4. So here Kasparov played knight back to h6, f3 by Kramnik, and knight back to f7. Now here usually the white against the King's Indian defense castling on the king side and then playing b5 c5 and working on the queen side by b5 c5 and then bringing the rook and the queen to the c file, and then c takes on d6 and putting a lot of pressure on the c file. But here Kramnik took a look on the position and he said, now the black pushed f6 and g6 and h5, and he weakened his king's side too much by this pawn's push. And I didn't castle until now, so let's play queen to c2, castling on the queen side and then attacking the weaknesses which the black make it. So here queen to c2 by Kramnik, preparing to castling on the queen side. So beautiful idea by Kramnik. And bishop to h6 by Kasparov, developing the bishop on the c1 h6 diagonal, castling by Kramnik, and c5 by Kasparov. c5 taking a space on the queen side and preparing to playing a6 and b5. D takes on c6 by Kramnik and b takes on c6 by Kasparov. And here Kramnik played king to b1. King to b1, moving away from the bishop's diagonal. A5 by Kasparov. The idea is playing a4, a3 and activate this rook on a8. So here Kramnik played knight to a4. Knight to a4. Don't play a4, don't play a3, don't activate your rook on a8. And c5 by Kasparov. Now c5, the idea is supporting the square on d4 to playing bishop to e3, bishop to d4 and have a nice and so powerful bishop on the d4. But c5 move weakened the square on d5. So here Kramnik moved his knight up back to the c3. Okay, my knight on e4 stopping this pawn, but my knight on d5 will be so useful to making some counter attack in the future. So knight to c3, I want to jumping to the weak square. Bishop to e3 by Kasparov. Bishop to e3, as you want to putting your knight on d5, I want to develop my bishop on the d4. Knight to d5 by Kramnik, bishop to d4 by Kasparov, and knight to b3. Knight to b3, give me your most powerful piece which you have. and bishop to b7 by Kasparov. The same idea, threatening the most powerful piece which the white has. Knight takes on d4, c takes on d4, and f4 by Kramnik. f4, let's opening some files on the king side, on this king on g8. Rook to b8, developing the rook on the open file, and rook h to f1. Rook h to f1. I'm threatening now taking and then putting a lot of pressure on the f6 pawn. Example, if you played anything like a4. All right, I will play f takes on e4, f takes on e5. Sorry. Now, if you take by the d takes on e5, you will lose your pawn on f6, and you cannot take by the f pawn because it's bending with your queen. So for this season here, after rook h to f1, Kasparov played knight to h6. Knight to h6, the idea is opening the file for the rook to supporting his pawn on f6. And here, so beautiful move by Kramnik, and it is c5. c5, it's so beautiful idea by Kramnik. Now, what's the idea from this move? The idea, if you take d takes on c5, I will play f takes on e5. Now, f takes on e5. Now, you cannot take by the f because it's bending with your queen, and you cannot take by the d because you don't have a d6 pawn anymore after by d takes on c5. So here, f takes on e5, and then I will take e takes on f6, sorry, and then making to myself two strong passed pawn on the f and the e files. So here, after c5, Kasparov take it, the most powerful piece, sorry, which the white has, and it is the knight by bishop takes on d5, sorry. E takes on d5 by Kramnik, sorry, and knight jumping to the f5. Now here, knight to f5, the idea is threatening the bishop on h4, but here Kramnik played so strong and so amazing idea actually. Here I want you to pause the video and try to find the moves or the idea which Kramnik played in this position. If you found the move or the moves or the idea which Kramnik played, so congratulations, you are so good player and you found the best move in this position, and it is f takes on e5. Now f takes on e5, the idea from this move, if Kasparov take the bishop on h4 by knight takes on h4, and this is what happened in the game, I will take e takes on d6. Okay, I gave the black the bishop on h4, but at the same time he gave me three passed pawn, so strong three passed pawn on the d and c files. So let's see here what Kasparov done with this. After e takes on d6, Kasparov played knight to e5, developing his knight. Rook takes on d4 by Kramnik. Now here you cannot do anything to guarding this pawn on d4. But here Kasparov's idea is playing knight to f5. Now the idea from knight to f5, if Kramnik move his rook to anywhere, example to the d2, rook to d2, I will play knight to e3. Knight to e3, I'm making fork between the queen and the rook on f1. And also you cannot play rook to d3 to controlling this square because my knight controlling the d3 square. So here Kramnik said, okay, you want my rook, take it. Rook takes on f5 by Kramnik, g takes on f5 by Kasparov, and queen takes on f5. Now here, if you're looking to the pieces, we will see Kramnik, yes, sacrificed by his rook for 4 pawns. So let's see how Kasparov done with this. Here, after queen takes on f5, Kramnik's plan is pushing c6, but c6 will making this pawn on d6 unprotected. So his plan is playing queen to c6 with check to guarding this pawn and then pushing c6. So for this season here, Kasparov played king to g7. King to g7, the idea, if you played queen to e6, I have rook to e8, so no problem. Trying to not allow you to develop your pawns. So after king to g7, Kramnik said, okay, I will not play queen to e6, I will take the pawn on h5, bishop takes on h5. And here, after bishop takes on h5, Kasparov played rook to h, trying to do something with his rook on the h file, but here Kramnik played so beautiful move, and it is rook to g4 check. Now rook to g4 check, the idea from this move is you cannot take my rook on g4 by your knight, because if you take it, I will play queen to g6 check, and after king to f8, the only move I will play queen to f7 checkmate. So for this reason here, you cannot take my rook, so you have to move your king. And after king to f8 by Kasparov, here Kramnik played queen to e6, guarding the pawn on d6, and then threatening checkmate from the f7 squares. So here Kasparov just played rook to b7, trying to keep eye on the f7 square, but here Kramnik played c6. Please move your rook away. I want to give your king checkmate. Here Kasparov played rook takes on b2, trying to do something, and by king takes b2, by queen to b6, trying to do some repeated checks on this king. But here Kramnik played king to a3, queen to c5 by Kasparov, king to a4, queen to c2 by Kasparov, king to b5, queen to b2 by Kasparov, king to a6, queen to e2 by Kasparov, king to b7, rook to h7 with check and guarding this square on f7. But here Kramnik played d7, and in this position Garry Kasparov resigned the game. Now why he resigned the game? Because I have d8 and the queen, I have c7, c8 and the queen, and also I'm threatening now queen to e8 checkmate. Your king cannot move to anywhere. So for this reason here, after d7, here Garry Kasparov resigned the game. So if you enjoyed the video and learn from it, please don't forget us by the like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.